Hello, guys. I am in my second week of school, and they don't pull any punches here. I have to read a whole entire book from beginning to end in 1 week by next Monday, called Open Veins of Latin America. So that should be interesting. Uh, but I'll have plenty of time to read it tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. Um, so hopefully I get that done before the weekend starts, and then have a great time. There's two birthday parties and hopefully a trip to Belgium sometime this week. So I'm super excited about that, and I hope it all works out. But it seems like it is a lot for 1 week between the reading and the going out. But I don't, I'm leaving at the end of the semester, so uh, I got to do it all. You know, I can't really take any time off from doing stuff. Um, so it is what it is. Let's talk about my classes. So I have three classes, and first of all, let me start by talking about how the Dutch system of teaching is different from the American system. At my school, we'll have two lectures a week, and sometimes we'll have a third class discussion. It's just a discussion. Um, but over here, it's only once a week. The classes meet for 3 hours, and for 3 hours, and it's all discussion. There's no lecturing, or very little lecturing. The professor acts more like a moderator between a debate between the students. So rather than the professor just giving you their knowledge, you're basically learning from other people's thoughts and developing your own thoughts, which sounds lovely. But to be honest, I'm not that big of a fan of it. Uh, I like more when the professor just basically tells you what you need to know, as long as it's not boring. Okay, so the first class, this class that I have to read Open Veins of Latin America for, is called Latin America and the International Systems. So to put it shortly, it is basically Latin America and its position politically and economically within the rest of the world. Uh, it's probably the class that I'm least interested in, and I don't I don't really have much to say about it. It's got the most reading, it's got the most writing, and the professor's really nice though. I do like the professor. He seems like a nice guy. Um, but I'm kind of ambivalent about this one. This one I'm taking just uh, to get some credit. The second class I have is probably my favorite one. It is Tea Party, the American Tea Party, and oh, it is basically dissecting something that's going on currently in American politics, which I figure would there's not going to be a class like that available in America for a while, because it's not history at all. It's going on right now, but over here we're dissecting it, and it's interesting to see what the Tea Party is like viewed through a European perspective. I'm one of two Americans or non-Dutch students in the class, so that's uh, that's the class that I can really get into a debate. Um, I really enjoyed talking during that class because uh, the Dutch students will give their ideas, and then I kind of have I have the professor gives me the right to kind of just say how it is from an American perspective, which I think is just as interesting to them as their perspective is to me. But it's a super interesting class. I thoroughly enjoy that. Last week's reading assignment was Glenn Beck's Common Sense, and I don't think I'll ever get the opportunity to read Glenn Beck for a class. So that was pretty exciting. The third class that I have, the one that I have tomorrow morning, is called The Founding of New York by the Dutch. And I think it's obvious why I was interested in that class. Um, the professor makes a really good point. Whenever you read about the history of New York in, in school, you know that it was first occupied by the Dutch, and you know it was called New Amsterdam, and maybe you even know about Peter Stuyvesant, who was the governor of New Amsterdam, but that's about it. And then they just go into the British occupation. But uh, the Dutch held the Dutch founded New York, and they held on to it for almost half a century. So it's actually really interesting to kind of read more about the history that you don't really normally read about. A lot of interesting stuff that I've already learned about the city that I live in. So that's really cool. That one is the least discussion-y. That one is more of a lecture, which I enjoy more. Uh, the other main difference about the classes here is that there are very few things that are graded. In my classes, I have a presentation, a midterm, and a final research paper. That plus class participation accounts for your whole grade. Some like I have a class where I forget which one, but one of my classes, the final paper is worth 60% of your grade, which is, quite a lot. In America, most of my classes, things are divided pretty evenly, 40% at most for something, but most things are 20%, 15%. There's just a lot more things to be graded. Uh, I'm not sure how I feel about that, whether I like it or not, but we'll see. So that's basically my classes. And another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is my birthday. Last weekend was my birthday. I turned 20, and I just wanted to share that it was awesome. Spending your birthday study abroad is great. We went to this club called Milkweg. That's probably pronounced very incorrectly, but whatever. Um, and it was kind of like a rave, but I feel like most European clubs are kind of like raves. Um, but whatever. It was fun. It was very fun. We were there until maybe like 4:30 in the morning, which is pretty common here in America. I would say by between 2 and 3, you call it a night. Um, then the next day, me and a few of my friends went to the Dom, which is like the city center, I guess, and hung out for a few hours. Uh, and then we went out again the next night to another place called Escape, which was fun. Um, so I guess the weekend was pretty. It was not eventful. There wasn't one thing that I can just talk about that stood out, like the time I lost my lock, you know. Uh, but it just was continuous fun. So I am I'm happy for that. I'm happy I was able to spend my birthday here and I had a great time. So I am just gonna leave you with a thought that I've been having. It's time for me to start thinking about trips throughout Europe. Um, I want to go to a few different places, but unfortunately, everyone's schedules is just all over the place. Uh, so it's kind of hard to plan things. Um, so I was wondering what cities should I go to? I don't know. I have already a list of cities that I want to go to, but maybe I'm missing something, or maybe uh, overvaluing one city versus another. So I don't know. Uh, I definitely want to hit up London. I think I'm going to do that, and uh, Paris, of course, Prague, of course. I already know for a fact something that I have booked though is Barcelona. I'm going the first weekend of October, so that should be fun. Can't wait to do an update about that trip. But yeah, that's what the next few days are going to be. In addition to all the reading that I have to do, I have to start getting my travel arrangements together. So yeah. So I guess I will call it a night because it's getting kind of late here. But thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.